Our next speaker, Mr. Thomas Schornstein, General Manager Middle East at Additive, speaking on today's topic, Embedded Finance and Wealth Management, a Platform Approach. Over to you, Thomas.
Many thanks, Melvin. It's my pleasure speaking today at the Qatar Fintech Summit. My topic will be Embedded Finance in Wealth Management, a Platform Approach. Let me introduce very quickly Additive first. Additive is a Swiss-based technology leader in digital wealth management. We are actually working on a global scale. We are focusing on developing for financial companies end-to-end wealth management and investment platforms founded in '98. And we are really focusing as we speak, as we see a huge market trend at the moment on embedded finance and platform. And this is something which we initially did in Asia, brought this model to Europe, and now introducing this with many clients in the Middle East as we speak. Additive has offices in all these regions. From Switzerland, Singapore, Germany, Kenya, and we are as well in the UAE, in the DIFC. And development is mainly done in Eastern Europe in two big development centers. So let's move now, but to the topic itself. I would like to start actually showing very briefly. I know we have heard that already quite a few times this morning, afternoon, from different presenters. But let me get briefly our understanding on the most important digital trends in the Middle East. One is clearly, you see an enormous growth of digitally savvy middle-class people for wealth management. That, of course, opens up huge opportunities. What they're looking for is mobile first, and they have a certain priority for self-service accesses. Then, of course, we see as well now in the Middle East, a lot of regulations are coming into play, from open banking to cloud technologies. That is clearly something which will change the market. Then, as any bank in this world, the need for increased efficiencies is high. That is applicable as well for the Middle East. Normally we see a pressure on fees and rates, which clearly forces banks to do the whole delivery chain and produce their services to clients in a as efficient as possible way. Then another development we see, clearly, the existing service offering is on the way to be increased everywhere. It's especially with leveraging partner ecosystems. And then another, that's really a Middle East point, is that a lot of the assets, especially from big clients, were today or in the past with the big international banks. We see a strong trend actually for onshoring of the services. We see a preference of local people, of having a greater use of local banks. So that is clearly a great opportunity in wealth and asset management, the repatriation of these assets. Let me continue to set the scene for actually my embedded wealth and platform approach. Another important point is, of course, the importance of wealth management business within a bank. Wealth management business is an off-balance sheet business. Clearly, it's from a risk perspective and from a present, even from an interest rate perspective, it makes a lot of sense for banks to actually focus or having a greater share of revenues from off-balance sheet or actually wealth management business in their overall P&L. And as another trend, of course, is beside the self-service, is the hybrid element. I mean, the whole interaction between client and relationship manager, an extremely important interface, which has to be monitored very carefully. What we see as well as a trend is that banks, I mean, actually have really done now the decisions not to develop everything themselves, but actually leaning towards fintech companies, providers, to actually help them to deliver the new value propositions and the services required to serve their clients best possible. As well, what we see is a change in approach of to how to grow new clients. I mean, using new channels like, for example, consumer platforms, social media platforms to acquire new clients. That is clearly a must, and we see a trend that actually many banks or even new digital banks in the Middle East are jumping on this train. And then, of course, the emergence of embedded wealth. That is clearly still early stage, and that is the topic I like to focus now in greater details, and to explain a little bit what I mean with that. I mean, I choose this topic specifically as we see a lot of demand as we speak on that side. And we see that as really the next big development step in banking. To give you a little bit the flavor how I see this really as the phase 3, and this is phase 3 I see really from the 2020 to 30. That is what most banks will finally do. I mean, internet banking, just to give you a small context, that is a typical online banking services, mostly PC oriented, not mobile. But clients were more viewing, not so much interaction. Then this was moving in the last 10 years. I mean, from 10 to 20 roughly. Yeah? And of course, it depends as well, regional and from banks and so on under the segment. Then this moved and really that clients has a mobile interaction possibilities with banks, the typical mobile robo advisor services to really full end-to-end wealth management propositions. And on the mobile, of course, from a bank perspective, then already the cloud migration has started. And now the third really phase where I'm seeing is now the biggest is how to really grow your clients and what are the services you're offering, and then in which way you are offering that. I mean, that this is a more context-aware embedded user journey. So let me explain you in what I mean with that in greater detail. The aim actually from embedded finance is to putting financial services into channels with higher engagement. Financial service now digital can be distributed through any channel, and you try to catch the clients where he actually spend his online life, and you try to catch him when it's relevant and when he needs it, and this is, I mean, you see a little bit in which areas that can be now extended. I mean, you see combis like health and wealth. You see, of course, the whole area of retail commerce, mobility, social media. To make it even more concrete, I show you a few today user journey. I mean, in nowadays world, mostly it's still the approach that a customer determines his financial needs himself, and then he only approach a financial service institution, and then and he provides then his wish to a bank, and he gets then the financial service offer product offering he's looking for. But this is a lot of guessing initially from the client, and then of course the interpretation from the the relationship manager or the person who is looking after these clients. What is now the idea with embedded finance is that the customer continues using their everyday services. These services understand customers' needs and proactively recommend relevant solutions. Solutions are adapted to context. I mean, it's a seamless journey, and this is not something which is driven by the client and needs an extra effort. It's seamlessly happening. Yeah, in what the client does anyhow. Giving you a few examples, for example, I mean, you see here the different customer contexts. I mean, from retail, car, home, health, wealth, business, and an embedded journey, for example, is in the area of car. Buy, insure, service, and return my car. That is the future, how this business will run. I mean, for example, the garage, you buying the car will immediately do your insurance as well, and of course do all the services and even take the car back when I want to have my next car. So this is a little bit the way, and that of course can be extended into any field of a human being in different topics. I mean, car is a typical one. The whole home is and health is a typical one. Older or the retirement. And principally, we want to provide to the clients intelligent services. What holidays can I afford? What help me building a saving pot, plan for buying a home, on-demand insurance, auto-switch utilities, all these things. The financial products as such are not different. They're just differently embedded into the whole journey. And the capabilities still have to be the same. What we see at the moment is, for example, especially in Switzerland, we see this all finance coming back to a great extent. I mean, how insurance companies really entering now the wealth management business and actually compete with the bank in certain areas. That's actually a very interesting development, and they do it a little bit different than banks, and they have actually great success in that. And when we're looking at that, it's the combination between a technology which is now ready and is enabled. I mean, banks who have actually high attrition rates and cost acquisition is high. On the other hand, a lot of new opportunities with consumer platforms and a regulation which actually make it possible. All that together is actually the reason, and this comes now for the first time together, and that's why now is the time to do this these journeys. What actually is the idea is to have to build such a platform is, I mean, you have to bring together a wide ecosystem with a wide, with many suppliers, many producers, many consumers, and users, and that all has to be managed on an operating digital platform. So, and here we see, I mean, look, Additive has all the digital wealth management platform. Whatever is needed to do that is already here. And actually, they're not only here on the surface, they are really very deep, speaking onboarding, speaking all the advisory, investment journey, doing CRM and everything. But we see ourselves, I mean, increasingly as an orchestration platform to orchestrate platforms, embedded finance solutions. And we are working this together with clients in a specific environment. We're building them up, bringing our clients into the specific consumer platforms, bringing in the right services, develop journeys to actually have a different client experience, and to have a much wider way of providing services and going alongside with the clients. Give you an example. I mean, just try to give you, for example, a digital platform in Qatar. I mean, in the first phase, I mean, I just took 3 banking names in Qatar as an example. I mean, of course, they try a new digital offering in investment and wealth management to place via their own website, their own landing site, I mean, their own resources, existing clients, and so on and so forth. But in a phase 2, you want to use maybe the big apps, whether it's a super app like Kareem in UAE or in Noon or Halan. I mean, using these services, introduce them to existing platforms, getting clients, they do actually something else in Noon, but actually embed a financial solution in existing platforms, and then extend these even further from consumer platforms to social media platforms to other platforms. Literally, where are your clients? You should be active, and you should actually market your services on all the platforms where your clients are. And then, of course, it can be created a direct online onboarding the journey. You can offering and you can create user journeys for your clients in all different services. I mean, it can be from typical wealth management to even investment banking services. So whatever you think it's most suitable and most appropriate for these clients, this can be done. And we as Additive, we are in the middle. We orchestrate all that. I mean, we bring your services. We orchestrate all these services, and we can then add whatever is needed to make it seamlessly. For example, our close partner Saxo Bank, if you want to have access to international brokerage, I mean, Saxo is a great partner for that services, or you need access to custody service. All that can be done. But maybe you want to have a BlackRock, a best mandate from BlackRock, you know, to have not only your discretionary management, but having actually you buy-in asset management strategies from international players. Can be UBS, can be Credit Suisse. We're working with multitude of players together, and this offering can be integrated, and you can offer that to your clients. Beside that, of course, we have a wide system of ecosystem providers for certain services. I mean, UCALAB, for example, for sensitivity analysis, or Clarity AI, when you want to give your clients a sustainability rating of your holdings and the client's portfolio, just to give you the flavor, or you like to have a specific strategy run. So that all in all, you will be able to offer a much broader and wider service and offering for your clients, and you stimulate your growth with new clients, and you can clearly stop clients going offshore, and you can repatriate clients back to your home country, to your bank, without being actually offshore as a bank. So I think this all opens up a lot of opportunities, and we see at the moment that is for us the newest and the biggest trend, and that is what I wanted to show you today. Quickly, I think my time is over as we speak, so back to you, Melvin.
Thank you, Thomas, for your presentation. I think you'll also have an exhibition booth, Mr. Thomas, at the exhibition area?
Yes.
Yes, so attendees, for any more questions, to check the products and services, do meet Mr. Thomas and his team at the exhibition area. Thank you, Mr. Thomas, for a fantastic day ahead.
Many thanks. Sorry for being a little bit stressed, but it was a short one. Thank you much.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye. Thank you.